I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 18th, 2015. Police in Denmark today confirmed the name of the man who committed 2 deadly terror attacks in Copenhagen this weekend, killing a Danish filmmaker at a free speech event and a Jewish security guard outside a synagogue, as well as injuring several Danish police. The Associated Press reports police in Denmark named the shooter as 22-year-old Omar Abdel Hamid el-Hussein, born in Denmark to Palestinian parents. El-Hussein, who was known to police and had a history of violence, was shot and killed during a confrontation with Danish police on Sunday. And the Jewish security guard killed while protecting the synagogue in Copenhagen was laid to rest today. Hundreds of mourners gathered at the funeral of 37-year-old Dan Uzan at a Jewish cemetery in the city. Uzan was a volunteer security guard for years. He was praised as someone always willing to help his community. Meanwhile, a group of Muslims in Norway wants to show their support for the Jewish community in the wake of the Copenhagen shootings. They intend to hold an anti-violence demonstration at a synagogue in Oslo this weekend by standing hand in hand around the synagogue, forming a peace ring around the building. The group wants to make it clear that Muslims do not support anti-Semitic attacks. One of the event's planners told British anti-extremism organization Hope Not Hate that if the jihadists want to use violence in the name of Islam, they must go through us Muslims first, saying Muslims want to show that we deeply despise all types of hatred of Jews and that we are there to support them. 4-year-old Adele Biton was laid to rest in the West Bank settlement of Yakir today. The Israeli girl was critically injured in March of 2013 when Palestinian teenagers threw rocks at the car she was traveling in with her family, causing it to slam into a truck. Biton died yesterday after complications from pneumonia stemming from her original injuries. The Arab-Israeli Magen David Adom paramedic Muawiyah Kaba, who saved Adele on the night of the stone-throwing attack almost 2 years ago, expressed his devastation at the little girl's death. Kaba, who has kept in touch with the Biton family, said there was no sadder moment than this, and that Adele did not pass away. She was murdered in a terror attack by a criminal. The Student Senate at Stanford University passed a resolution yesterday supporting divestment from companies doing business with Israel after failing to pass the same resolution last week. The Stanford Daily reports that the resolution proposed by the Stanford Out of Occupied Palestine Campus Organization supports, quote, divestment from corporations identified as complicit in human rights abuses in Israel and Palestine. It failed to garner enough votes last week, but then Senate Chairwoman Ana Ordonez decided to allow a revote after student senators said the first vote had taken place in a hostile environment. The organizers of the vote claimed that they are not associated with the BDS, or Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions movement, which seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel. Charges were filed in Germany on Monday against a former member of the SS. The man, who has not been named, is now 93. He was charged as an accessory to the murder of 170,000 people, most of them Jews, at the Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp. The Detmold State Court now has to decide whether to proceed with the charges. Similar cases were dismissed in the past due to the age of the accused. The man reportedly has admitted he was stationed at the death camp from 1942, but denies involvement in any killing. The charges against him follow other recent investigations of former Nazis, including 93-year-old Hilda Michnia and 93-year-old Oscar Groening. Singer-songwriter Leslie Gore has died. Born Leslie Sue Goldstein in Brooklyn to Jewish parents, Gore was raised in Tenafly, New Jersey. She was discovered as a teenager by Quincy Jones. Her hits include You Don't Own Me, Judy's Turn to Cry, and the 1963 Grammy-nominated It's My Party. She also co-wrote the Oscar-nominated Out Here on My Own from the movie Fame with her brother, composer Michael Gore. Songwriter Neil Sedaka called Gore a great person and a phenomenal talent. Leslie Gore died of lung cancer on Monday in New York City. She was 68. Over 3,000 Jewish teenagers, teen leaders, educators, and philanthropists came together in Atlanta this past weekend with the goal of strengthening Jewish identity. Jewish youth groups, Pluralistic Teen Movement BBYO, and the Reform Movement's national youth group NIFTY held their annual conventions this weekend as well, and together with Orthodox Jewish NCSY, the Conservative Movement's USY, and Zionist Youth Movement's Young Judea, met to plan new ways to bring teens together in order to build a stronger and more united Jewish community, all in the framework of the Coalition of Jewish Teens. And turning now to our programming for tonight, at 8 o'clock, Yiddish literature and Jewish culture scholar at Harvard University, Dr. Ruth Wiss, discusses the nature of world anti-Semitism today. Then at 9 tonight, Mark Golub sits down with modern Orthodox rabbi and author Yitz Greenberg on L'chaim, and at 10, the challenges facing American Jewry and the State of Israel are discussed from the Park East Synagogue in New York City. That's tonight on JBS and jbstv.org. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 18th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.